Hi, hopefully you can hear me okay. Welcome to Parenting with a Punch. I'm Amanda Houle, a parenting strategist and behavior therapist, offering straightforward and nurturing strategies for parents who want more. So, this is just the beginning of a bigger project that I'm super excited to share with you all very soon. And my guest here tonight is a social media guru, and I'm so excited to have her here. Please welcome Jimena to Parenting with a Punch.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm super
So
psyched to
happy
be
to
with your crowd.
Yes, thank you for joining my first ever Parenting with a Punch show. It's so exciting to have you here.
It only made sense, right? Because we do have a super product that we're super sharing with everybody
Yes.
who wants it.
Yeah.
But we do know that we need to explain a little bit more about what we're doing and why we're so psyched about what we developed and why we're sharing this with so much passion and so much intention.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome to find you.
I know. It's awesome how we just come across through, basic social media, right? Which is what our course is all about.
Exactly.
And we found each other through Instagram, but are also in a business program together. And we linked up, and you reached out, and our messages were aligned with the work that I do as a parenting strategist and behavior therapist, and you being a social media guru. So super, super exciting. So for many of you who may not know about our course, Jimena and I created, it's an online parenting course called Digital Toddler Bootcamp, Behavioral Approach to Digital Use. And tonight we wanted to come on to discuss, a little bit, a background on why we developed the course and why it's so important to the both of us. And be able to share it with our community and answer any questions some parents have had. And so, yeah.
And I think
So why don't you?
The main thing is that, right?
Yeah. Sorry, you cut out for a second. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's your, you being a social media guru, what would you say is your number one reason for wanting to reach out to me and develop this online digital, course for behavior and digital use, right?
Yeah. It actually sounds like a lot of a big thing, but it's really simple. I was so concerned. I mean, we don't know how impactful devices are and technology and social media and all this stuff that we work with every day, and we see it as such a daily thing and so normal. But we really are not aware of the impact that all of those things have on ourselves and much less in our kids. I mean, it's really hard for us to understand how strong things are to them, how big they may be, how new, and how they change their whole perspective and behavior and a whole bunch of different things that we dwell more in our course. But
Right.
I found it really funny that people ask, why would you be partnering with someone in parenting? And why would someone in parenting be partnering up with someone that does social media and digital technology? And
funny.
I mean, you've heard this. People think that social media and stuff like that is just for older kids, and that you should worry about them when they're 13 or something.
Yeah. Yep. No, I totally agree. I've worked with all ages, from 2 years old up until basically 18. And so I've seen the huge spectrum, and just even over the last probably 10 years, I've seen the huge shift, right? I mean, from the preschool age up until through high school. And, working with some of these kids, I mean, granted, many of them were diagnosed with ADHD or anxiety, some other developmental delays, of course, autism. And I saw there was always so many behaviors surrounding children and devices. It was like children get home from school, of course, again, depending on their age, and they immediately want to go and, spend hours on their phone or their tablet, and they have like no communication with anybody around them. They get super frustrated. Mm-hmm. And when parents try to set limits and, tell them, okay, it's time to shut it off, they freak the hell out and throw a tantrum, or they start yelling at their parents, or there's this, power struggle fight going back and forth between the parent and the child. And when I see that, for me, it's like it's not supposed. You are the parent. You have to set these limits. If you want to avoid some of these power struggles, you have to set these boundaries and have these rules in your home. You have to create that structure. And as you know, I mean, that's a lot of what we discuss, in the course.
You just mentioned something that is totally key. I mean, you're saying kids have this tendency to just go take their phones and their tablets. I mean, how crazy is that they actually own phones and tablets? When we were younger, when did you have your own phone line?
I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 18 years old, and my high school sweetheart bought it for me as a birthday present.
But even your landline, how free were you to just use the phone when you were little, when you actually had to go and dial up something and not just use the memory of a cell phone?
No, I mean, I remember my father having like a huge phone that he would put in his car and like plug it in. I mean, if I wasn't listening, or if I was, grounding, which that's a whole other topic. We won't go into that now. But the phone would get taken away, and I'd have to like go and sneak and grab the phone to be able to talk on it. So there wasn't like this immediate, access. And, as far as the older years, I mean, Will, of course, you and I both know that we're in the process of creating a course for the older years as well. This course is for children birth through 4 years old. I mean, a lot of the strategies you can use for kiddos up to about age 6. But yeah, it's just, to me, it's crazy. I see it with the kids today. I see how unengaged they are, and just their communication styles and anxiety is just so prevalent in our society today. And it truly breaks my heart. And I want to be able to give parents strategies.
Give parents strategies and give kids their childhood back. I mean, that they can enjoy the simple things, because that's one of the things. They stop enjoying the most simple things because their life is so complex from day one. As soon as they have access to these things, then they disconnect from nature and from learning and from experiencing and from their bodies, just from learning what it is to run outside, and imagine things and just play games with rules. They drive them insane, and it comes from this.
Yeah, again, it's just, when I was a kid, going outside, whether or not, even if you don't have access to a backyard, I lived in the city for very many years. I mean, there's so much that you can do to get your children to interact, outside of social media. And especially in the younger years, it's their brain. Their brain is developing up until 5 years old. 80% is developed already. So these are the most crucial years of their development. Yeah. And I've seen so much in terms of children just becoming so obsessed with digital use, and their speech being delayed, and just all kinds of things, because you're not even giving them an opportunity to work, like get creative, right? I mean, and this is the age where children strive for that. They want to be able to learn about their world and get curious about everything around them. And if they're put in front of, a digital device, they're not getting that experience. That's just how it is.
And the funny thing is that it also comes from our own experience and use with devices. It doesn't necessarily have to do with parenting per se, but just how much time do we spend in our cell phones? How much of our lives really revolves around that, and we're showing them that. that we're all the
Right.
time looking at the screen. So they're copying our behaviors, they're copying our
Yes.
habits, and in the end, they
Yep.
just want to be like us. So if we're
Yep.
setting the trends, if we're starting the mood of always going back to your screen, always communicating through
Right.
cell phones, not having
Yeah.
play dates or get-togethers with family and friends, we're not showing
Yes.
them that that's an option. We're just
Right.
cutting their
Yep.
view of life and habits in a very radical way, I think.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. And I will say, the families that I do work with one-on-one, there's always behaviors surrounding, technology. And it is something that I work on with the families on. And I can tell you every single time, every single family that takes a step back and they don't completely obsess over their digital devices, they're putting them away at dinner or, other things that are going on in the family, they are so much more connected and they are so much more happy. I mean, I myself have to break off from it. I mean, being a business owner, I know that you can relate. I'm only on social media because of business. I'm a very private person. My page, even my private Facebook page, I use it solely for business. I don't share pictures. That's just not who I am. It's fine if other people want to do that, but so I feel it. I know, and I like can feel that anxiety come on when I'm like completely obsessed with being on social media or trying to get content out. And so imagine what it feels like in little kids' brains. I mean, even at 12 years
Exactly.
old, it's
Yeah,
an overload of information.
that's the other thing too. I mean, we will talk and we do dwell in all the negative things and all the really
Right.
addictive traits that social media and devices have. But there is
Yeah.
also an upside. There is also
Yes. I
really
agree.
great connectivity, and we do understand that, and we are going to advocate that. We're not going to tell you to go Hamish completely and no devices
Right.
and no technology whatsoever, because a lot of people
Yeah.
do get nervous about that we're just telling them you're going to have to cut off completely. And
Right.
you're talking about
No,
addiction.
and that's not.
No, I mean,
Yes.
there is a
Yeah.
limit to things, and I do become addicted to it at times myself as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not just preaching because I'm on my soapbox and saying that everything's bad. No, I do use it all
Right.
the time, and I do get hooked
Yep.
on negative things and negative patterns every now and then. And that's why I talk so much about it, because I'm very aware of that, and I have witnessed
Yes.
it, and I have experienced it, and I know it's really normal and regular for it to
Right.
happen.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And like you said, it really is just being able to set limits and setting your own boundaries for yourself, which then you're instilling, in your family with your children, which is some of the stuff that we dive into in our course as well. So,
Yeah, and in the end, like you said, it's setting boundaries, so it will go back to parenting, and it will go back to the
right.
things that you
Yep.
do and to behavior and how you set your patterns for behavior and for learning and for dealing with so many other things, and how you establish
Right.
relationships, which is, I mean, everything will be connected, because
Yes.
social media is
Yes.
that. It's just the reflection of who we are in our lives, and digital life is precisely that. How all this digital
Right.
technology is inserted in our lives, in our daily routines, in our daily habits, in our daily behaviors.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it just goes full circle. And that's why it's so important that we talk about it from the earliest age, from 0 to 4, when it's
Yes.
really the
Absolutely.
foundation.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
they will have it so much easier if they get the beginning right. I mean, I'm totally convinced about that.
Yes. 150%. I mean, all the work that I do, I mean, that is my biggest point, and my main message is those first 5 years, they're the most crucial. And this is when you're really able to create those habits, or the like, even the mental,
Process, yeah.
right. Yeah, the cognitive processing. I mean, all of those all of those pieces are being connected neurologically. I'm not going to even go into that whole piece, but yeah, but it's true. So I'm so glad that we found each other in this in this world of social media. If it wasn't for social media, right, we never would have met.
Yeah, that's the irony of things, and that's exactly why we can talk about all the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media. I mean, we do experience that all the time, and I think it's also very, very important for parents to be open and willing. We have a really, really tough job raising kids, all of us, because it's really a community effort. We all are being the teachers of these kids from age 0. The person who takes care of them, daycare, babysitters, teachers, family members. We're all teaching these kids what the future is going to look like for them, what they should be doing, what they should be thinking. So they're really learning. They're like little Martians that were dropped in the planet.
Oh, and they soak up everything. Yeah, they're sponges.
Yes. So it's really crucial that we take it. I mean, it's not to go totally pessimistic, and if you don't do it now, it's never going to happen. There's no way back.
Or your child is going to, get ADHD because they are using their tablet at 3 years old. No, that's not the message that we're trying to portray at all. So let's, of course, make that clear to anyone that's watching or watches the replay. It's really just being socially responsible. I think in the world that we live today, we are so oversaturated with so much information, and it can get really overwhelming for parents today. And it's just raising children is so much different now than it was when I was growing up, even 10, 15 years ago. So really being able to give parents these tools just so they can be, hyper aware of what is going on and, with child development and just giving them that peace of mind, really, because I think as well, we don't look at raising children it takes a village to raise a child. I don't know if many of those today really adopt that mentality anymore. So I think that's a huge piece of it too, in terms of just the overwhelming, flux of just all of the information out there on social media.
And I watched really a couple of days ago, and it's something about moms, crazy moms or something like that. And they have a couple of lines that are so true, that we think we have to raise our kids on our own. Like, you have to be super mom. Right. And that's not the case. I mean, we need to be able to say, I'm going to mess up a couple of times. I have to forgive myself. I need to ask for help. I need to have a community, a support that actually allows me to be me and happy and healthy and take care of my kids and raise them the best way possible. And yes, there will be mistakes, but that makes for great comedians. So would Chelsea Handler say that a messed up childhood gives you a lot of material. So, I mean, we all have a little bit of that. So we're trying to avoid the mess. But but I mean, it will happen. There will be times where we mess up and we make mistakes, and just being able to reach out to someone who knows. I think that's something we really need to get in people's minds, in parents' minds, and in our own. I mean, it goes back all the time.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I tell my families all the time, it's trial and error. You gotta go through the bad to get to the good sometimes. That's only how you learn, right? I mean, and that's a huge life lesson. So that's really what you're trying to instill with your children from a very young age.
Yep. For sure. And I think whoever does take the program, they will be super, super empowered. They will feel so much more comfortable knowing what's going on. Because I mean, a lot of it is just awareness. I mean, we're not rediscovering anything weird. We're just making it simple for you to find all the answers here, so you don't have to Google everything everywhere and figure out what's right and what's wrong and what's coming from the right sources. We're just kind of packaging everything we can to make it easier for parents. And it's online, so they can do it on their free time when they're done breastfeeding or whatever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if you can get it all in one place and you're getting it from experts that know child development and they know the effects of social media, in their child development, then I I think it's a great tool to have. I mean, it's anybody that takes our course is absolutely going to feel more confident. They're going to have concrete and specific tools and strategies that they can use, especially when it comes to behavior surrounding, digital use. And yeah, you're going to walk away super empowered. So, again, I'm so excited to do this course with you and to complete our other courses for the older years, which
sure.
we will be sharing soon. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. This is going to be some great content for families that they're ready for more and ready to really dive in and want to make those changes and something that is important to them. If it's not important to you, then it's not for you. It's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. But for those parents that are ready and want more and ready to, take on a different world of parenting and setting their children up for success, then
and to know that it's going to be a process, really. It's not going to be just, I learned this right now and it's good and I'm set. It's going to be a process where you're going to be implementing things and figuring out what works best for you and for your kids and for your family and for your stage in life, because things do change. So that's why it's
trial and error.
Yeah, it's also a very ongoing process, and that's why we're going to be there offering different packages where we can be more present and give more advice and give more feedback. So I think it's an awesome plan. I'm very psyched to share with people. I love working with parents. I love working with what they're going to be doing with their kids in the future. So super psyched to be working with that.
Yes, same here. Same here. So I guess we will wrap it up. Any last thoughts before we
we're ready for them. We're ready for them. We're ready to team up.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Parenting with a Punch. A special thank you to my guest and co-creator of my first online parenting course, Imenya. Visit parentingwithapunch.com to learn more about my one-to-one services. And if you're ready to join the course today, digitaltoddlerbootcamp.com. And again, if you're ready for more and work with me one-on-one, then please join. Until next time, keep asking for more. You and your family deserve it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.